Hello everyone! Today I'll show you how to build a basic password-protected account system using the AWS Cognito for Godot add-on. Before we dive in, please subscribe to the channel for more useful tutorials and join our Discord community if you need additional support. To install the add-on, create a folder named Add-ons inside your Godot project directory, then copy and paste the downloaded folders into it. Next, open your project, go to Project Settings, Plugins, and enable the add-on. We've already set up the project and written the code off screen. Here is our user login scene. It contains a login panel, a sign-up panel, a confirm sign-up panel, a forgot password panel, and a confirm forgot password panel. When this scene is instantiated, it initializes the Cognito identity provider clients that we'll use throughout this tutorial. When a player clicks the login button on the login panel, the _login function is triggered. Inside _login, we construct an SRP helper. This utility handles secure remote password operations, ensuring the player's password is never sent over the network in plain text. We use the SRP helper to compute an SRP string, a randomly generated large number represented as a string. Next, we call initiate_auth using the Cognito identity provider client. We pass in user_srp_auth as the authentication flow, along with the username, the SRP string, and a secret hash. The secret hash is computed by secret hash helper using the username, client ID, and client secret key from AWS Cognito. The initiate_auth function returns a response received handler, specifically an AWS SDK Cognito identity provider _model_initiate auth response received handler. In fact, every function in the Cognito identity provider client class returns its own corresponding response received handler. Each handler contains a complete signal, which allows us to use GDScript's await keyword to receive an outcome object. Just like the handlers, the outcome type is specific to each function, in this case, an AWS SDK Cognito identity provider _model_initiate auth outcome. This outcome object contains a success boolean, an error enum, an error_message string for extra context, and a strongly typed result, such as AWS SDK Cognito identity provider _model_initiate auth result. If success is true, result is valid, and no challenge _name is returned, the login process is complete. However, since we are using user_srp_auth, Cognito will issue a password_verifier challenge. To handle this auth challenge, we first check if the challenge parameters contain user_ID_4_srp. If present, we use it as the username. For the password_verifier challenge specifically, we also extract srp_b, salt, and secret_block from the challenge parameters. We then call format_timestamp in srp helper to format the current Unix timestamp as a string. After that, we call compute_password_claim_signature using srp_b, salt, secret_block, the timestamp, the user pool ID, the username, and the password to derive a password claim signature. Finally, we populate a respond-to-auth challenge request with these parameters and call respond_to_auth_challenge. Just like initiate_auth, we await the response to retrieve the outcome and result. Unless multi-factor authentication, MFA, is enabled, the authentication process ends here. If everything goes smoothly, a login success notification will pop up. When a player clicks the sign up button, the _sign_up function is called. Similar to the login process, _sign_up calls sign_up on the client using the username, password, email, and secret hash, awaiting the response received handler's complete signal. Upon a successful request, AWS Cognito sends a confirmation code to the player's email. We then register a confirm_sign_up user signal, emit a wait_for_confirmation signal containing the username, and wait for confirm_sign_up to trigger. The tab container catches the wait_for_confirmation signal and switches to tab 2, the confirm sign-up panel. The confirm sign-up panel also catches this signal, stores the username, and prompts the player for their confirmation code. If the player doesn't receive the code, clicking resend will invoke resend_confirmation_code using the username and secret hash. Once the player inputs their code and clicks confirm, we check if the confirm underscore sign underscore up signal exists and execute underscore confirm underscore sign underscore up. Inside underscore confirm underscore sign underscore up, we call confirm underscore sign underscore up with the client, passing the username, confirmation code, and secret hash. Once finished, we emit the confirm underscore sign underscore up signal alongside the result. The sign-up panel catches this signal outcome. If successful, it stores the username and password, displays a sign-up success notification, and emits a signed underscore up signal. The tab container catches signed underscore up and switches back to tab 0, the login panel, which then autofills the credentials and triggers underscore login. The password recovery process works similarly. Clicking Forgot Password calls underscore forgot underscore password, which executes forgot underscore password via the client using the username and secret hash. If successful, Cognito sends a verification code to the registered email. We create a confirm underscore forgot underscore password user signal, emit wait underscore for underscore confirmation with the username, and wait for confirm underscore forgot underscore password. The tab container receives wait underscore for underscore confirmation and switches to tab 4, the confirm forgot password panel. This panel stores the username and asks the player for the confirmation code along with a new password. Clicking Resend will call forgot underscore password again with the client, username, and secret hash. Once the player inputs the code and new password and clicks Confirm, we verify the confirm underscore forgot underscore password signal and execute underscore confirm underscore forgot underscore password. This function calls confirm underscore forgot underscore password on the client, providing the username, confirmation code, new password, and secret hash. Upon completion, we emit confirm underscore forgot underscore password with the new password. The forgot password panel catches this signal. If valid, it stores the username and new password, displays a reset password success notification, and emits forgot underscore password. The tab container receives forgot underscore password, returns to tab 0, login panel, and the login panel automatically populates the credentials to log the player in. Now, let's set up the server side. This step is straightforward because we've provided CloudFormation templates to automate everything. First, we need an S3 bucket to store our CloudFormation templates. Inside your downloaded example project from GitHub, locate AWS template underscore builds.yaml. Open the AWS CloudFormation console, create a new stack, upload AWS template underscore builds.yaml, click Next through the prompt windows, specify a stack name, and submit. In a few seconds, an S3 bucket containing 3 subfolders, including CloudFormation underscore template, will be generated. Next, we'll configure AWS Cognito. Navigate to the CloudFormation underscore template folder inside your newly created S3 bucket, then drag and drop AWS template.yaml and AWS template underscore UGC.yaml into the console to upload them. Here's how they work. AWS template.yaml creates a nested stack using AWS template underscore UGC.yaml, which provisions the Cognito user pool client, identity pool, and other necessary resources. Once uploaded, select AWS template.yaml inside the CloudFormation underscore template folder and copy its S3 URI. Go back to the CloudFormation console, create a new stack, and paste the S3 URI of AWS template.yaml. Click Next, provide a stack name, and in the parameters section, paste the S3 URI of AWS template underscore UGC.yaml into the UGC part template URL field. Click Next, Next, and Submit. Within seconds, the infrastructure will be deployed and ready. To connect your Godot project to AWS Cognito, go to the Outputs tab of your root CloudFormation stack and sort them by export name. These outputs line up directly with the export variables in your Godot main node's inspector panel. Copy them over one by one. Then, click the Link to Cognito User Pool Client link to open the Cognito console and copy your client secret. Now everything is configured. Let me export the project so we can see it in action. Let's review the final result. Switching to the sign-up panel, we enter a username, password, and email directly inside the game UI. A confirmation code is dispatched to our email, and the interface transitions to the Confirm Sign-up panel. Testing the Resend button sends another code. Entering the latest code triggers the Sign Up Success notification, redirects us back to the Login panel, and logs us in automatically. Now, let's test the Forgot Password flow. We input the username. The confirmation code is sent to the registered email, and the UI moves to the Confirm Forgot Password panel. Clicking Resend generates a fresh code. We enter the code along with a new password. The Reset Password Success notification pops up, switches to the Login panel, and automatically logs the user in. And of course, manual login through the Login panel works seamlessly as well. If you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord community. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below to let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.